Hi everyone and welcome to the weekly notes week 3. Where has time gone? I have to say that most of you are doing very well and keeping up with the course. You probably have noticed that one of the main skills that we're studying this semester is summarizing, outlining, mapping, and annotating. One thing I would like to add to everything that you have read is that using your headings and subheadings to help you summarize or outline the material or mapping for that purpose are very helpful. Instead of writing everything, if you use the headings to write your summaries, it will really help you. Something else that I recommend is that you cover what you read it again until you understand it really well, put the book aside, and then you only include the main ideas when you're reading the text. This week we're going to add an additional skill to the ones we had seen previously, and that is paraphrasing. I had put there a PowerPoint last week that had paraphrasing and summarized, but I want you to look at the paraphrasing very carefully. Look at the PowerPoint that contains some important tips. There's a recorded PowerPoint too that you can use. I want to show you a couple of things that I want you to note. Here is the PowerPoint of the writing summaries and paraphrases, and this one, rewording of a particular point. One thing you want to note is that when you paraphrase, you don't necessarily want to make the text shorter, but you need to use your own style and your own words. So some of the important steps when you summarize or paraphrase, it's the same. You read carefully several times and then put the text away as just said. Write information in your own words, but do not include your own ideas or commentary. This is not an opinion. This is just exactly what it says there. And then remember that when you paraphrase, your writing must reflect your own writing style, not the author's. And do not leave out any important information. Paraphrasing really is not about making it shorter. So I'm going to let you continue with the rest of the slides yourself. Make sure that you listen to it, but I wanted to point it out that it's here to help you with this information. Last week we studied supporting details and we studied implied main ideas. One important thing to remember is that the implied main ideas are suggested, but they're not explicit. Important point is that it needs to be based on facts though. So again, the implied main idea is not your opinion, but you have to come to a conclusion based on the facts that you see. This week we're going to be studying relationships such as addition, time, illustration, comparison and contrast, and cause and effect. If you know how the text is organized, it will be a lot easier to understand it. That is why it's important that you can recognize these relationships and apply them quickly. One other thing I want to remind you is that I hope that you're using the PowerPoints that come from the main book. For example, for week 4 we have here, for week 3 we have chapter 5 and 6. So for example here I'm going to click in chapter 5. It's going to take a second to open. Okay, it's almost ready, and there you have the 10 steps to advancing, and you will see that these PowerPoints are really helpful. So what I would recommend that you do is that when you are studying the chapter, you use the PowerPoint, and the more that you read, it's right here in front of you, so it will be easier to read the text and use the PowerPoint at the same time. And then it also helps you to do some exercises as you go, and it gives you the correct answer. So don't forget this very useful tool. Another tip I want to give you this week is for Tuesdays with Maury. I think that most of you are doing a really good job with that book. It seems like it's not too difficult, but I would like to advise you to read once through the whole chapter, and then the second time note your answers as you read. So get the questions that you have for that week, note answers in the book. So in other words, annotate your book, summarize your responses and note in the book. You can do that in the margins, and then also note any reactions you may have. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to answer the questions. I want to remind you about the quizzes and the midterm. This week, of course, we have a quiz. Some of you have taken it, most of you haven't. It is due tomorrow. The syllabus says that it's due at noon. However, I changed the date to midnight, well, 11:55 p.m., as I know that some of you work and you have a hard time perhaps doing it during the day. So make sure that you dedicate a whole 75 minutes to that. Be in a quiet place. Next week, look in your syllabus when the quiz number 2 and the midterm are due. You can take the quiz number 2 online, but for the midterm, you're going to have to go to a testing center. Please let me know by Monday night which testing center you're using. To do this, send me a note in the email. Send me an email letting me know where you're taking the test. It's very important, as I need to send it to the correct testing center. It can be the one in our campus, or it can be the one Fairbanks Center, or any other testing center. I know Meima. I'm going to send your test to Morocco, to a testing center there, or an institute rather. So everybody should take it in a proctored situation. Finally, I want to clarify something about the discussion board. When you do the discussion board, most of you have been putting your answers, but you're not really replying to at least 2 other people. Most of you last week didn't reply to anybody. I guess you were waiting for questions to be asked to you, but that's not the way the discussion board always works. If there's a question, yes, please answer it. But read somebody else's response and then respond to that person. I just did some responses earlier to show as an example of what I mean. So either one posting or 2 separate ones. You can respond to 2 people in one separate posting if you want, but please make sure your answers are meaningful. And that is all that I have for you for today. Have a great week, and I hope that if you have any questions, please make sure to contact me. Bye.